2 nights ago, I watched my cousin press a burning brand into a stranger's neck, while my family sang Mom's lullaby. That's when I realized no McKenzie ever leaves the hollow. I've put 34 miles between us, but the chanting still echoes in my skull. And those stone piles, I never stacked them. Before exhaustion erases everything, let me tell you how a boring genealogy trip turned into a fight for my life, and why I'm not sure I really escaped. The Appalachians were just the wallpaper of every childhood photo. Green ridges, fog, and a cabin that reeked of kerosene and apples. Grandma said we'd been married to the mountains since 1798, whatever that meant. When she died, I offered to scan the family Bible, figuring I'd spend a quiet couple of days snapping grave pics for an ancestry side hustle. Dad muttered, "Let old stories lie," but he'd bailed to Cincinnati back in the Reagan years, so I wrote it off as small-town superstition. Spoiler, I should have listened. I parked at the trailhead just before dusk. The woods looked postcard perfect until the wind carried this low, 3-note hum, pause, repeat, like a hymn wheezing through busted teeth. I told myself it was a generator echoing and hiked the last mile. The porch light popped on before I knocked. Aunt Carol greeted me, smile too wide, eyes glassy. "We felt you coming in the mountain's bones." Mountain talk, right? Inside, the house smelled like boiled cider and fresh-turned dirt, and every picture frame faced the wall. Dinner started normal. Fried okra, poke salad, jokes about my city accent. Then Uncle Ray slid a saucer of salt and rust-colored flakes toward me. "Taste," he said. "Blood memory." I played along, dipped a pinky, touched it to my tongue. Metallic, bitter. They all stared until I swallowed. Everyone exhaled at once like I'd passed some pop quiz. We moved to the parlor. Instead of cracking the genealogy binders, they rolled back the rug, revealed a trap door, lit lanterns. "Family council," Carol whispered. Every blood turn of the moon. Downstairs, the cellar walls wore concentric circles, dates under each ring. Outer one, 1798. Newest, tonight. In the center sat a wooden cradle, empty, rocking by itself. Ray lifted a ledger, pointed to a blank line beneath 2 centuries of McKenzie kids. "That's yours," he said. "We keep it warm." I needed air. Grabbed my pack, pretended I had satellite calls to make, then ducked into the root cellar across the yard. Behind jars of pickled beets, a loose plank hid a mouse-chewed notebook. First entry, 1843. "The hollow hungers, only kin will satisfy." Last entry, last week, in Carol's handwriting. "Sarah returns. The cradle will be filled." Footsteps thudded overhead. Ray said, "She's read the words." Fetched the brand. I slipped out the back, aiming for my car, but lanterns already lined the trail like runway lights. The humming swelled into full-throated chanting. I crept behind a fallen spruce. Center stage, stone altar draped with our family quilt. 30 relatives in muslin masks stitched with their birth dates. A goat lay tied up, but they weren't chanting to it. They were serenading the cradle now parked on the altar. Carol raised the brand, crescent moon crossed by a spear, the same symbol on every gravestone in our cemetery. Ray barked, "Bring the heifer," and two teens dragged a drowsy hitchhiker in a Carhartt. My stomach flipped. This wasn't folklore. This was why hikers vanish every spring. I fumbled my phone. No bars. Instead, a single text from Mom. Don't run, baby. The mountain chose you long ago. Mom died when I was 8. The chanting stopped. Every masked face turned toward my spruce. Carol said, "Sarah McKenzie, step into the circle. Your cradle waits." I ran. Not brave, just lizard brain panic. Boots pounded behind me, lanterns swinging. Every fork funneled uphill, never down to the car. Branches whipped my cheeks. Someone tore my pack strap. I burst onto a cliff. No trail, sheer drop. Torches closed in. Ray lifted his mask enough to show his beard. "You read the book. You drank the salt. Blood remembers." I spotted a skinny ledge angling toward the ridge trail. I slid along it, cheek to granite. Halfway, the ledge crumbled. I dropped 8 feet into a rhododendron thicket, rolled until a tree stopped me. Voices argued above, then scattered. I thrashed downhill until gravel hit my shoes. My car sat unlocked, keys under the visor. Country trust. The driver's seat held a fist-sized cairn. On top, a scrap of quilt fabric, reeking of iron. I hurled it out, gunned the engine, fishtailed onto the state highway. Think this sounds nuts? Google Appalachian hikers missing clusters. My family's not unique. The mountains hide pockets the census never finds. Share this, mirror it, download it. Whatever keeps it alive if I vanish. Stick to marked trails, refuse rides, and never taste the salt. Subscribe. I'm uploading under a dummy handle because I don't know how far their reach goes. I drove till dawn, only stopping for gas under fluorescent lights. Every time I blinked, I saw that cradle rocking. I told myself the worst was over. Wrong. 2 nights later, back in my city apartment, a thud on the fire escape. Another cairn. This one built from my childhood creek stones I'd kept in a jar. The quilt square draped my laptop, still damp. Security footage glitches at 3:03 a.m., the minute Grandma used to hum that lullaby. Burning the fabric produced smoke that smelled like Carol's voice. "Stone and bone, you're never alone." Burying the cairn just meant new stones appeared under my coffee mug. Genealogy ledger twist. One name scratched out, Caleb McKenzie. Born 1952, presumed dead 1983. I ran my DNA last night. 50% match living in Asheville under C. Stone. I messaged, "Are you my uncle?" Instant reply, "Come home, Sarah." The cradle rocks for 2. So I'm packing again. Lighter, no notebooks, just a voice recorder in the hope daylight keeps them shy. If you never hear another upload, remember. 1. Family isn't always home. 2. Sometimes the mountain follows you down. Lock your doors. And if you catch humming that doesn't sound quite human, run. Because blood remembers and the hollow's hungry.